Hey guys, and welcome back to Battlefront updates and some very interesting finds in Star Wars Battlefront. As many of you probably know, there are achievements for Battlefront just as for most other games, and these are available on all platforms, even though the ones I'm showing you on the screen right now are from Origin on PC, but they have the same names and descriptions on the other platforms as well. The interesting thing is that recently it was discovered that these achievements contain references to both the prequels and the Clone Wars and Rebels series. First off, I just want to say that this most likely doesn't mean anything in terms of future content, but it's still a very interesting Easter egg and it doesn't hurt discussing it. The interesting part is that these references didn't start until with the DLCs, so it could potentially be a hint for the last DLC, but that is just pure speculation. So as you can see here on the achievements from the base game, some of them are actually titled after quotes in the original trilogy, such as
"What's the cargo?
When 900 years old you reach, look as good you..."
None of these 43 achievements available in the base game contain any reference to anything outside of the original trilogy, which is a bit strange, and what made this Easter egg a lot more interesting to me. It means that they for some reason were allowed to or changed their mind regarding Clone Wars references when they made the achievements for the DLCs. But enough of dragging it out. What are these references I'm talking about? Well, let's start off with the Outer Rim achievements. The first one is from no other than Qui Gon himself, straight from the Phantom Menace. Greed can be a very powerful ally.
Greed can be a powerful ally.
This is very interesting as they haven't shown any reference directly from the prequels at all, at least as far as I know, except for inspiration to some weapons and shields and things like that. But this is the first direct reference to the movie. Next up we have "This is a new day, a new beginning." And for those of you who watch the Rebels, you might recognize it from Ahsoka in this scene.
One chapter has closed for you, Ezra Bridger. This is a new day, a new beginning.
This is however not the first inspiration from the Rebel series. As you might know, both the X8 Night Sniper and the Ion Disruptor are weapons introduced in the Rebel series. Moving on to the Bespin DLC achievements, we actually have a total of 3 out of 5 achievements that are references to content outside of the original trilogy. Very interesting indeed. First off we have "When Surrounded by War", which is the start of a title from one of the Clone Wars episodes called "When Surrounded by War, one must eventually choose a side". This episode featured Ayla Secura, Anakin and Ahsoka fighting alongside some villagers on the planet Maridun against the Separatists. Next up we have another Clone Wars reference with the achievement called "Do We Take Prisoners?".
Do we take prisoners?
This is from the Clone Wars episode where Heavy dies and sacrifices himself to save his fellow clones and blow up a bunch of droids. Lastly, we actually have another quote from Qui Gon, which is "I'll take that bet", which he says to Watto after accepting his new bet regarding Anakin. So as you can see, these DLC achievements are riddled with references to both the Rebel series, Clone Wars series, and even 2 of them to Qui Gon in the Phantom Menace. What I find a bit strange is the fact that they really wanted to keep all references to the prequels out of the full game, except for inspiration to weapons and so on, and I've got a feeling that it has to do with Lucasfilm being very strict about these type of stuff. But in the achievements they for some reason have full-on quotes and episode titles from the prequels and cartoon series, which is very interesting. Again, my honest guess is that this isn't really a hint to future content or anything like that, but it's simply just a pretty cool Easter egg and reference to the other content. Lastly, I would just like to give a shout out to fellow YouTuber Narwhal Dave for pointing out some of these achievement Easter eggs to me. If you're looking for some more Battlefront Easter egg content, make sure to check him out in the description below and let him know I sent you. But that is all for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, may the Force be with you.